Hello booktube. Okay, so today I have a really exciting book to talk to you about. Ender's Game. So I know that a lot of people have already read this and a lot of people know the story and have seen the movie and stuff, but I hadn't seen any of it. I knew that there was a movie being made and I knew it was really science fiction-y about like child soldiers and aliens and things like that, but I didn't know any of the storyline or plot or anything at all, really. I didn't even know what these aliens were or anything, and I really loved it. I went into it with like expectation that it's going to be a good science fiction read, and it really was. It was a great science fictional read. It was a very war thing, but because it focuses on gaming and the future, but the future is really written in a way that I felt could have been real. So sometimes when you read books, which I learnt this was written in I think the 70s or 80s, and sometimes when you read books set in the future from written in the past, they kind of feel a little bit off because they're expanding on the technology that they had in the time, but in this book they expand on technology that could still be an expansion of what we have today. It just felt like their desks really fancy iPhones, and like it didn't seem too far in the future. Like it really felt still real, and it was possible. So it was a really immersive book and written absolutely fantastically. I hate when they put the stickers on them, it's so annoying. Yeah, so the plot flows really quite quickly and it changes quite a lot in different chapters. Like it'll just suddenly change and the time will have passed, but it feels natural, like it feels like it's supposed to have done that. I don't know how much I can talk about it without giving away spoilers. This is what happens in all of my reviews, but this book was so good that even though I saw the foreshadowing, I forgot about it. So what I mean is that the book is written so cleverly that you think something and then it calms you down and makes you think something else, and you're like, oh no, it couldn't possibly be that. And then later on in the book you're like, oh no, it really was that. Oh my god, that's such a good, such good writing. And that happened multiple times for me because I saw what I thought had happened and then I retracted that belief and I was like, oh no, maybe not. And then, oh yes, no it was, which sounds like it would be really annoying, but it wasn't, because it placated me. I really liked that. I can't give you the specific examples without giving away literal spoilers, so I'm not going to do that because I really loved that I knew nothing about this book. And the ending just was phenomenal. Like, I mean, plot twists are one thing, but this one had, this book is twisty all the way through, but then, in the last 5 pages or so, there was, another layer that just blew my mind, man. I was so excited about it. I was just like, no, oh, that's really cool. And the ending is so ambiguous that it really opens up the universe, the entire multiverse inside of this universe, and it just has so much potential, and I can't wait to read more of Orson Scott Card's universe. I can't wait to explore it. I want to see what Enders does next. I want to see all sorts of things from this. And I know he's got more books out there because I looked him up straight away. And the very last sentence, it's 2 words, and it's so ambiguous, and it's a semi-ambiguous, I believe that something happened, but then I was looking at it from a different perspective and that thing may not have happened, and I was like, what? And that's how that universe just gets so expanded that I need to know what happens next, because I think I know what's gonna happen, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I mean, I'm right. I'm definitely right. But yeah, even the very last 2 words of the book left me going, wow, this writer is genius. I really enjoyed it. I should have filmed this review as soon as I finished reading it, because it was such a good book that as soon as I finished it, in that day when my sister came home, which she walked through the door, I finished the last 10 pages and then had to just explain everything that happened to her, and really excitedly, whether she wanted to listen or not. And then I had a really big conversation with my brother yesterday about it as well, and he was like, what do you mean you haven't read this book? And then we just gushed at each other about this book for 20 minutes while Mum and Cass kind of got a bit bored, I think. I feel like I've talked about this book so much already that I don't know what I should say to you guys to recommend it, other than I recommend it so much. I'm gonna go watch the movie and see if it's any good. I did hear, thank God, after I'd read the book, I did find out that Harrison Ford was in it, who played a very good character. I hope, if he's the character I hope he is, that's really cool. The only other person who could play that would be Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker. But yeah, anyway. The character development is really clever. There's 3 siblings in here and they kind of get separated, and then there's like a strange relationship between all of them. But I really enjoyed the tension of time and familial relationship. That sibling bond is still quite strong and needed. And there's just so many little things that tied up so well in this book. Like, it tied up all its loose ends while still making me want more, which I think was really interesting. And it was a very good explanation of aliens, I think, and how extraterrestrial life could be, like, similar to us but completely different as well. So there was only one time that I annotated, and it was a positive thing because I really enjoyed this line, and the line is not a spoiler. Humanity does not ask us to be happy, it merely asks us to be brilliant on its behalf. So interesting note that I will file in my memory for when I make my annotations video. Another subject I want to talk to you about in another video is how you read. So like how you process the thoughts that are being shown to you from what's on the paper. So I read a book and I really look at the words and I really like take in the story as if it's being told to me, as if this book itself is speaking in my head. Whereas other people, and this has only ever happened to me once, just see the story unfold in like their mind's eye. Like they stop looking at the words and they just start seeing what the words mean instead. And I'm so interested to find out how other people read. Like, I think it's gonna have to be a discussion video. And it's about thought and psychology, and just happens to be about reading as well. Cool, so if you're into sci-fi at all, I highly recommend this one. I'm sure most of you have already read it, but if you haven't, do pick it up. It's very good. I haven't been this excited about a book for quite some time, so yay! Good read. Thanks so much for watching, and I shall see you in the future. How do you turn this thing off?